Aloha everybody. A pretty smooth intraday session gave way to a nightmarish after-hour scanning session. I had issues with both MarketSmith and Telechart, but by the end of everything is fixed and back to normal. So let's get it rocking with the Nasdaq. Nasdaq big move today, up 0.68%. Volume much higher than the session before. And once again, the good news is it's the middle of the week. It's Wednesday, everybody. No news Wednesday. Market's up big. Our model switches to buy on the Nasdaq. Very, very, very good. Let's look at the oscillators. TSV and MACD confirming the price move, and stochastics is looking better, and RSI straight up confirmation. The Russell 2000, RSI and stochastics looks good. MACD, TSV, but the bottom line is the Russell 2000 is closing above that 1265 level, I believe. So 1275 close, that is a buy signal now for the Russell 2000. That leaves only the NASDAQ 100 and the Dow Jones Transportation Average under a neutral condition. And both, have a lot of work. But the S&P 500, also seller session, volume was above average. And the stochastics and MACD, RSI, TSV look good on that one. The only sad news is that once again, we just can't close strong, can we? We just can't close at the highs anymore. We were able to do it on this session here, but every other session you can see like a baby candle wick on all of them. So whatever, it is what it is. It's not that bad. It's not that great, but we are trending higher. Our long positions are doing good. And unfortunately today, before we get to the long positions that were kind of iffy, not too, stoked about them, we'll look at MUSA. MUSA actually gave us a partial sell signal. So all of the add back here, it should be fully gone now. That's a full sell signal on the add. I already got rid of half the add. Now the next half comes off. So overall in the whole position, it's technically a 25% sell signal on the entire position from the original holdings. But it's basically a 100% sell signal of the add signal for MUSA. And then also two health services related stocks, CNC and HNT, both two of my weakest stocks on the day. HNT is a healthcare plan, and so is CNC, so this totally makes sense now. HNT is closing below the 50-day moving average. I had half of my sell stops here and the other half right here because HNT is lagging recently compared to a lot of the other long positions, and HNT cracked that April low on stronger volume, so half of my sell stop has already been issued. But if you have not, this is a half of the original position sell signal on H&T. And then CNC, normally if this, let's say that we were long from way back down here, this wouldn't be a sell signal. But since we've gone long, this is the first close below the 20-day moving average, and it's doing it on quite heavy volume. You can see money stream and the relative strength line are rolling over, confirming the price action. So that's heavier volume sell off. And if I look at the stochastics, they are ugly. TSV, MACD, stochastics, RSI, that's a full on confirmation. So that's a 25% sell signal. And now what I will do is I'm going to raise the entire rest of the position sell stop up to this level. So excuse me, sorry about that. It's not too far away, but if CNC closes below this level, I'm going to be completely out of it. Another thing I might do, since I have gains, I might put half of the sell stop here. We'll see by the I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, and then put the other half at these lows also. They're really tight, so I'm not sure. I might want to do half here. And then if it does happen to break this level here, I'll get out a half intraday whenever the sell stop hits. And then by the end of the day, if it's below the 50-day moving average on heavy volume, we got red bop and everything, we'll make it a full sell. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do there yet, but those are some ideas. So H&T, CNC are the big ones, and then MUSA is just house cleaning from the ad signals to sell. But that was it. Also, RCKY, I moved some sell stops up, moving them back down to right below here, and FRSH moved some sell stops up, moving them back down to here, and got to move some sell stops around, but those are the two big ones. Pacey, I moved them up, and we're going to keep those there, so that's still low a day is half here, The other half is here. New long signals, I got 3 of them on a quality basis. None really, blow me out of the water. The prettiest one is GSM. This one is a cancelum quality stock, big earnings and sales growth, and it was also in my green bop for the last 20 session scan. So it made that scan confirming the cancelum move. And if we're wrong, we're not going to risk a whole lot. I mean, let's say all hell breaks loose and even would pull back major, we're risking 10%. But overall in the position from these lows to right here, we're risking about 4.5 to 5% if we're wrong. And I can do that on a 2.5% position with a stock that looks like this from the February lows. Wish BOP was stronger, like I wish it wasn't downtrending. I wish it was uptrending. But BOP did surge from a lower level the day before. So it's in the cancelum scan, confirm the BOP 20-day scan. So 2.5% in GSM. Right here is our sell stop if we are wrong, so we don't risk much. Before I get to the biggest one, and then there's CMGE. CMGE is in my cancelum quality scan. Chart is kind of sloppy, but just like ATHM, it's the exact same similar situation. It hasn't broken out just yet, so it's in a higher quality position to go ahead and work this time around on a breakout. If this would actually been a breakout move on HTM yesterday, probably wouldn't have gone long the stock, as it just doesn't like to hold the breakouts. But when you can get it before a breakout, maybe good things can happen. It happened back in July and it happened back here in February. Maybe it'll happen again, but that's how I see CMGE. It's kind of early, only barely breaking out, not really breaking out to where it's kind of extended, so we're still in the pivot area of the breakout. And you can see that if it wants to move, when it does want to move, it can move. So we'll see if CMG wants to do that again. The BOP is building to the green level again, and there's been some big accumulation lately. So I figure it's worth it since we're that deep. Might as well go for some beta, and that's what we're doing with CMG and ATHM. Both basically, similar chart patterns, so we both kind of risk the same amount. But in 2.5% position, I can do. CMG was confirmed price volume BOP scan. Then there's GILD. This is by far the highest quality stock. I mean, let's just see if we can't pull up the numbers really quick. I mean, look at the sales growth. Look at the earnings growth. Look at the estimates. Not that big, but still, you could still see that rolling over. Tons of mutual fund ownership. Even some recent insider buying whenever it dipped here on the gap down. So somebody likes this stock. So GILD retook out the 200-day moving average. Now it's retaking out the 50-day moving average with a strong close. It did it back here, but what am I going to do with a close like that? I could care less. And also volume was slightly higher. You can see BOP almost went positive below, and we don't risk much if we're wrong. You could use the 50 or 200-day moving average as your final sell stop, and if you're really brave, you can use it all the way down to here. I in no way in hell will. The 200-day moving average will be my final sell stop. And once again, 2.5% position. This wasn't confirmed in any other scan except for I have here a high price stock scan. So it just looks for, not that one, there it is, high price stocks with volume scan. 84 stocks were in it today. GILD was one of them. Facebook is actually one of them that shows up too now if that pops up, but GILD was definitely one of them. I'm not sure what the criteria I use for it, but whatever I use, it was in there. That's a good enough confirmation for me. And then speculative wise, CNDO, no real signal here, but goddamn thing's coiling, isn't it? It's getting tighter and tighter, lower highs, higher lows, kind of getting into this apex area right here where, whoops, see here, getting to that pivot point area. So we want to break out of that triangle pennant. That's a flag formation, excuse me. Yep. Flag formation, a lot of max green bop. Sadly lost max green bop for a day. God, if it could have held max green bop that day, I'd be really excited that this one's going to probably break out and race higher. But either way, a long position entry here really reduces our risk if we're wrong. I recommend sell stops here and here, maybe half here and then half here, because it's getting to the point that it should coil and break out immediately, especially if the market wants to rally higher.